Chris, firstly, welcome to Voiteck Connect. It's great that you're here. And Chris, you're the director, owner, and also vet of Pets Health. Pets Health is a multi-site vet practitioner. Tell us about your story. What is Pets Health in your words?
So Pets Health, we've got two sites, one at O'Halloran Hill, so down the south of Adelaide, one in the western suburbs in Hilton. So the main thing we are about is companion animal healthcare, which includes everything from wellness care, keeping them as healthy as possible, through to dealing with the emergencies and the problems that happen along the way. And anything we can do that make those pets' lives better for our clients, that's what we do.
So really from cradle to grave, so I've got a dog, the dog's just been born, I take it from the breeder, the first thing I'm going to do is connect with my vet, then you look after me from there.
That's the one. So literally from puppy, kitten, right through till looking after them, palliative care, making sure they're comfortable in terms of older, senior animals, the whole lot.
So I'll be seeing you, once, twice a year, do you think? Is it that sort of relationship? It's like a dentist, but without a pain.
We try and keep it as pain-free, and that is actually a really good point. One of our underlying basic founding principles is keep it as pain-free as possible.
Gotcha.
So minimise the fear, minimise the anxiety associated with it, make it as comfortable as possible for those pets, because that is a really good point. If they're fearful of coming to the vet, if they're anxious about walking in that door, they're not going to enjoy it. So
gotcha.
Certainly from the puppy side of things, one of the things we do is a free puppy school.
Right.
To get them in, get them as comfortable with that place as possible, so they're not fearful about coming in. Much harder for cats, but there are a lot of things we can do which certainly minimise the anxiety and the fear associated with coming to the vet. The more we can really keep them calm and keep them chilled, we get a much better response in terms of being able to examine them properly and find out what's going on, if there is something going on, or just making sure things are as healthy as possible.
And your environments there, Chris, they're very clinical, for want of a better term. So when you've got the multitude of different animals coming through the vet area, I notice your staff are all in their clinical uniforms, for want of a better term, and then your floor is immaculate, your clinical areas are immaculate. What type of design are you trying to put into the setup of a vet surgery?
There's a real transition from, at the front, we want to be as welcoming as possible, but we've got to balance that with the fact that we've got a lot of animals coming through, and the risk of infectious disease is always present. We've got sick animals coming in.
Yeah.
But we've got to balance that against, it's got to be welcoming, it's got to be friendly. So everything's got to be designed to be able to be cleaned really thoroughly, disinfected if anything does happen in terms of infectious diseases coming in. Through to out the back, we are, as you said, a lot more clinical. It's set up to be a lot more run like a hospital, so that things can be functional but still keep it as stress-free as possible. And that goes for the staff as well. It's got to be a friendly place to work. The less stressed our people are, the less stressed the animals are, and the less stressed our clients are. So it's got to be for everyone. It's not just about the patient itself, it's for the owner and it's for the staff.
And you just touched on a really good point there. People, culture, you're employing, and your colleagues at work, the people that work with you, they're highly experienced, highly trained. They're spending as much time in university as they are as a doctor would be. How do you go about finding great vets? And then also, how do you go about finding nurses and your support staff? Is there an abundance of these people floating around that you can pick on?
At the moment, there's a real shortage of vets.
Right.
Nurses are easier to train. The training's a bit shorter, so we tend to train our nurses, bring them in a little bit more inexperienced, but to bring them through. Having said that, there's still plenty of great nurses around. It's not a matter of a great nurse or a great vet. It's a matter of finding great people. Skills can be taught. Skills are learnt, and if you give them the right environment, people want to do the right things, and they constantly expand their skill base. They get better and better, and if they've got the right tools, the right equipment in the right environment, they will excel if you've got the right people. So the first key is get people who want to excel in what they do, people who are really keen to grow their skills, really keen to do better than they are now. And that's what we want to do it with our environment. And that's literally everything from the design of the premises, through the equipment we've got, through to the ongoing training and how we structure our week to make sure that we get time every day and every week to collaborate as a team on the ongoing development of our team.
And I'll come back to that point in a moment about collaboration. I want to go, you and I have had a couple of haircuts in our time, Chris, and unfortunately they don't go darker on top.
No.
But you've been a vet now for a number of years and then an owner of multi-site vet practices. Being a vet is quite intense. You're dealing with the welfare of either sick animals or the welfare of animals just going through their journey of life. To a new vet coming in, what would you be saying to them about trying to find balance? So you're just leaving university now. What sort of advice would you be giving yourself about your journey going into the future?
Yeah, good question. Because certainly something that is really prominent in the industry at the moment is there are a lot of vets who have hit my age who probably wouldn't even recommend to kids to take that pathway of going into becoming a vet.
Wow.
Which is sad in that obviously their experience hasn't been what they wanted. It is a hard industry in terms of some respects. There are bigger financial rewards elsewhere. Having said that, there is a certainty of ongoing interest in that area that you won't get elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's a really rare day when I don't see something new or different or exciting. It's not a boring type of work at all. If you've just finished uni, that's the attitude. You've got to keep the curiosity, you've got to keep the excitement. Work's work. It is a job, and it's okay to leave it at the door and go home. But you've got to keep the curiosity, you've got to keep the excitement, and you've got to keep the energy to put into the balance as well. You've got to have a hobby, you've got to have a passion outside of work. You need to look after yourself, and whether that be rest and recreation type things, whether it be exercise, whether it be mental health side, it's all got to be balanced, it's got to be done. You can't be all focused on just being a vet. A lot of unis these days, they are really good at bringing out perfectionists. They can do so much in that little box. What they're not doing is bringing out really well-rounded individuals who play, learn and excel in all their aspects of life.
Understand. And my presumption is, and you couldn't be an amazing vet without having a passion for an animal. So for yourself, I'm presuming you got more than a goldfish at home.
Yeah. No goldfish at the moment. We've moved on from the goldfish. Certainly I've got a bit of a menagerie at home. 4 dogs, 2 cats.
Wow.
That's it at the moment. Interesting question though, in terms of do you have to have a passion for animals to be a good vet? I think technically you can be a really good vet without having that passion for animals, but I don't think you can be a really good vet for the clients unless you have that caring for the client and you have the caring for the patients.
Gotcha.
So technically you can do a great job, and there are some possible career choices that can put you down that pathway, and probably doing things like herd health for cattle where you're actually looking at an overall number. That works probably really well. But in terms of the small animal situation, you're dealing with emotions, you're dealing with real people who are often balancing their kids' needs, the animals' needs, whatever else is happening in their world at that particular point in time when they're trying to make a decision about an unwell pet can make life challenging.
Understand. So I want to go back now to that word of you used before, collaborative workplace. So you're not just one vet practice, you've got 2. And like every great vet practice owner, is probably 2+, I'd suggest, going along. How do you create, possibly through technology or your communication skills, that collaborative approach within your workplace? How does that all work for you?
Being a vet at the moment is certainly still very much about FaceTime.
Right.
And everything else has to support that personal interaction. And that's where the technology side of things really works well if we get it right. Technology is designed to get out of the way of people and assist them with actually doing their stuff easier. And that's what we really try and do. We do try a lot of things, and some of them have failed very spectacularly, but we try and keep the good ones. The simple things we do, start the morning with a huddle, so we get the whole team together in the premises just so we can talk about what's going on, day-to-day issues, What's the focus for the day? Move forward. And then doing the same in the middle of the afternoon before we get into the evening stuff. And that face-to-face moment allows us to focus then on what needs our attention the best. But as you said about the technology, being able to refer back to medical notes quickly and easily from both premises, whether it be communicating with the team and simple things even like rostering, so that we can get messages out easily and quickly to everyone. The world's changed with all the different avenues of communication now, so whether it be things like WhatsApp, whether it be using a server so that everyone accesses the same information. We were talking before about using things in a cloud-based. All those things moving forward are going to be amazing. We use a single server for the two practices, so all x-rays can be viewed from everyone. So literally every workstation can have a look at those x-rays. So if someone in one practice is going, I'm not sure about this, they can get another set of eyes or 2 or 3 sets of eyes on those x-rays to go, hey, this is what I think, this is what we should possibly do moving forward. So you never being alone makes a big difference. Feeling supported makes a big difference inside the practice.
And I know that the simple communication to the customer, and I love it, and as a customer of yours, receiving the text message to say your appointment's due, or it's your assessment or results are ready for pickup or look at for the practice or going to the practice is huge. And I love those little things that you do. It's actually from Chris rather than from the practice itself.
We're people. I can't remember where it came from. Someone said a business is just people serving people, and that doesn't matter whether it's business to business, business to client. It's just people serving people, and that's what we have tried to do is push the technology into the background as much as possible, so that it is face-to-face communication. But when I say background, I mean in a supporting role, not in a make it non-existent. Use it to its fullest potential. Computers are great at stuff. Technology is amazing at what it can do, but it isn't a purpose in itself. AI in the future is probably going to be fantastic at helping with diagnoses, but I doubt that it's ever going to replace, no, I take that back, not ever. I doubt that it will in the foreseeable future replace someone doing the actual face-to-face communication, someone doing the actual pet handling, because when you're dealing with an anxious pet, I don't know quite when we're going to get to the stage that a robot or an AI can deal with that, to be able to take blood, to be able to look after them, to be able to do the skin assessments and such.
So Chris, just build on that answer for me. Looking future-wise, go back to your university days or go back to the student leaving today, and they're going to ask the wise old man of vet practices.
Don't do it like I do it. Do it like they taught you at uni. Absolutely.
But what's for 10, 15 years? What's going to happen in the vet practice world? How are you going to look after these animals going forward?
To be honest, we're going to be blindsided by something.
Right.
I don't know what's coming innovation-wise. We're seeing a lot of wearable technology coming through for humans now that tracks your sleep, tracks your movement, all those. And those things are crossing over into the animal side as well. So you get collars that track their movement. You can now get blood glucose monitoring that is attached to the animal, same as they do for people, so that you can actually get a full trend, not just a moment to moment.
Understand.
And that will be the first of many, many things that comes. But as I said, in terms of what's going to change and what's going to cause an abrupt shift in our practice, I don't know, we'll be blindsided by something. But at the moment, because it is still so much about people, if we focus on the people, if we focus on caring for the pets, that's what makes our business special.
Brilliant. So Chris Munchenberg, vet, owner of multi-site practices, I really appreciate you taking your time out to speak with Voiteck Connect. I wish you well in the future, and thank you for being a great customer of Voiteck.
Thank you, Declan. Much appreciated.